Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are safe and sound. So many times when I stream I get a lot of questions regarding my PC like why did I get this particular CPU or GPU, or why would I go with 16 gigabytes RAM instead of 32 and all that. And people ask all the time that what should they get there for their particular needs. So hence I decided to start this new series called Know Your PC, and this will help you guys to understand the components individually, and so that you are able to apply that knowledge to your particular needs and select the best system for you. So today we are going to start with the CPU, the brain of your PC. So the CPU is responsible for every task your system performs, from your basic calculations when you're using your calculator or when you're checking your mails to extensive tasks such as gaming or video rendering. Different tasks require different amount of CPU power. So whenever you want to buy a CPU, you will see numbers like 6 cores 12 threads or 8 cores 16 threads along with their frequencies, that is 4 gigahertz, 5 gigahertz or 3.4 gigahertz or something. So what are these? So to make you understand, let us imagine a labor force of 20 people. Now each person in this labor force is a core and they have two hands, so they are the hands are the threads. Now the cores do the real work, like for example digging, so the cores do the real work using the shovels, but the threads are there to ensure background tasks run smoothly. That is, when if the labor force uses their shovel with both of their hands, then the task will run smoothly. These threads are also responsible for scheduling and the low power tasks which run in the background, and the frequency, as you could say, is the speed of the worker. So you could say that more the workers, the faster the work will be, but all the applications aren't designed in a similar way. Some may require more cores and some may require less. So like imagine if you have to dig a 4 feet by 4 feet area, you could only fit a number of people in that square. Even if you have 100 people, you are able to use only 8 of them. Now another important parameter which you would see when buying a CPU is the mention of a number with an X behind it, that is an X32 or X64. Now imagine a highway with 10 lanes, so at a time 10 vehicles can move together and deliver the goods, and so these numbers are those lanes but for the CPU. An X32 CPU means it has 32 lanes going to and from it, and all those 32 lanes can be simultaneously filled with data and information. And similarly, an X64 CPU has 64 lanes of information going towards or from it simultaneously. Now these lanes also determine the maximum amount of RAM your system can support. For example, with an X32 CPU, the maximum amount of RAM supported is 512 megabytes of RAM. Now this can be easily calculated by using this formula. And with an X64 CPU, similarly, it can support up to 2 exabytes of RAM. Now there are only two major companies which make processors, which are Intel and AMD. Currently Intel is on its 11th generation core processor and AMD on its 4th generation of its Ryzen processors. Now I will not go too deep into the architecture of the processors, but a statistic that people tend to miss is the process technology of these processors. So while Intel is still trying to make its 10 nanometer fabrication process work, most of its processors are based on 14 nanometer fabrication technology, whereas AMD's processors are based on 7 nanometer process technology. So what does it mean then? So you might have also seen these numbers in the process whenever you are buying a smartphone. Here you might have seen 5 nanometer, 6 nanometer, 7 nanometer processors. So these are basically the size of the actual CPU die. I mean, not this actual size, but they matter in the size of the CPU die, and they give an advantage in terms of power consumption and the die area. So basically, a 7 nanometer based processor will consume less power to run at similar frequency than a 14 nanometer based processor, which means that a processor based on 7 nanometer might run at 4 GHz while using only 30 watts of power, whereas a 14 nanometer based processor might use 60 watts of power to run at the similar frequency. Now let's talk about different types of CPUs present and what you might need. So let's start according to budget categories. So first we have the low-end CPUs, that is under 10,000 rupees. These constitute the 4-core 8-thread processors from both Intel and AMD, and 2-core Intel Pentium processors and AMD Athlon processors. The 2-core/4-thread CPUs can be used for basic general tasks such as browsing the web, checking emails, and basic office work. These are not suitable for gaming or heavy computing tasks. The second part, that is the 4-core or 8-thread CPUs, are a bit better. Until recently, these processors used to sell for above $10,000. Sorry, not 10,000 rupees. But now they have come down in price because of the competition. So these are a bit better. They can do the above tasks of the 2-core 4-thread CPUs as well as provide moderate gaming experience and a little too heavy processing tasks. They can be used for playing easier games such as Overwatch, Fortnite, PUBG, etc. The next category is the mid-range, that is from 10,000 to 20,000. This is the value for money sweet spot for CPUs. You can find modern 6-core 12-thread CPUs or older generation 8-core CPUs in this range. These CPUs are particularly suited for an average experience, that is multitasking, gaming, video editing. They can also handle AAA titles such as Cyberpunk, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, etc. with a decent GPU. The next category is the high range, that is above 25,000. You will find CPUs with more than 6 cores on 12 threads in this range. These CPUs provide the best experience possible for your system. If you have multiple monitors or you want to do extensive video editing or multitasking on another level, like playing games as well as watching videos, you will find the 12-core. You will find these CPUs very helpful. You can find the 12-core 24-thread CPUs from AMD and 8-core and 10-core CPUs from Intel under 40 to 50,000. If you have the budget, you should go for these CPUs because they will provide a longer lifetime and they will also be future proof. So these games normally nowadays are requiring more than 4 cores to go. So if you have a 12-core or 8-core processor, in the future, whenever if the game's requirement even increases, your system will able to handle it, and you won't need to upgrade your system if you want to play those games. Now let's talk about the categorization from a use case perspective. So for the laptops, we have two types of processors, the U class and the H class processors. The U class processors can take as low as 15 to 25 watts of power and are suitable for all-day laptops and ultrabooks, wherein the businessmen, they require an all-day battery. They can just charge once in the morning and can use them all day. Because these require such low power, they are suited for this area. For gaming laptops, these processors are not suited well as they run on low power, and they are not able to provide the performance which is required for modern day games. So for gaming laptops, we have H series processors. These are high power processors rated for up to 45 watts of power. and these are also available in various core configurations such as 4 cores, 6 cores and 8 cores. Then we have the consumer grade CPUs or desktop CPUs, which we have discussed earlier. And next we have the HADT or high-end desktop processors, which have much higher core counts than the consumer grade but below those of server grade. For example, the Threadripper series from AMD with 24 and 32 and even 64 cores, and the HADT lineup from Intel with up to 18 cores. These processors are useful for people who are running simulations or AI or CGI or video rendering. Basically, those applications which can benefit from such a large amount of cores use these processors. Next comes the server grade processors. These often cost more than $5,000, and as the name suggests, they're used in servers. The MNCs and tech giants use this processor in their server farms. These are very high power rated processors and often could go up to 64 or up to 128 cores. So I hope now you have a better understanding of the CPU, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box. I will try to answer them. Like this video if you liked it, share it with your friends if you loved it, and remember to subscribe with the red button and turn on notification. And please provide feedback in the comments. I hope to see you in my next video.